Welcome to the short video tutorial on how to set up a Google form. The first thing you need to do is to sign into your Google account. Once you sign in, go to the Google homepage and type in Google Forms. Look for the appropriate link, such as this one, which is a support form, which should give you some very interesting information about how to set up your form, how to add themes and content, and all of the other things you need to do is listed here. So let's go to docs.google.com/forms. We'll start a new form for now. Let's just have a quick look at the interface. At this stage, we can see that we are sitting in an untitled form with no questions added on at this point. The controls at the top include a palette, and we can change the color scheme. So let's go ahead and do that now. We can preview the form that we're building along the way. Let's just have a look at settings. We can specify how many responses each respondent can submit. So if we tick that, they can only submit one single response. We can change the confirmation message that they receive when they've submitted a response. We can just say thank you here, or any other message we want to give to the respondent. We can allow respondents to edit their response and see a summary of other responses, and we can even put in a progress bar to show how far they are. So let's save the options we want. There are a number of other options we can do. We can copy the survey, we can delete the survey, we can print it, and finally we can add collaborators onto this. So if you want multiple people to participate in the creation of a particular document, you would go here to add collaborators and you put the email address in there. So let's start adding some questions in here. For this survey, we're going to ask one or two questions, and here we're going to be surveying pet owners. So the first question we want to know is, where do they live? Where do you live? That will be our first section. And then the first question is, where do you live? And let's change the question type to drop down. And you can see there's multiple types of questions that you can ask. You can ask a short answer, which is a short text-based answer. You can allow your respondents to submit a paragraph of text. They can submit multiple choice answers from a selection, and this currently is set on multiple choice. They could choose a number of different options on checkboxes, and a drop-down they could select an option from a drop-down menu. Linear scale would allow a person to answer a question based on a scale, say give a rating from 1 to 10, and there are various other options. For now we will use this current one, which is multiple choice. And let's change the options here to Johannesburg. We'll add Durban, Cape Town, Harare, and we'll make another option, other. Here we'll tick this, which will make this a required question, meaning that the respondent must complete this question before moving on with further questions in the survey. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add another section. So you can see this is section 1, is where do you live, and there's one question under it. So let's add a new section to the survey. And this will be to accommodate this other. So we'll put here city, other. And we're going to add a question in by clicking on this button. And the question here will be a short answer, and the question will read, which city do you live in? And they'll be able to put in a short piece of text. We're now going to add on another section, and this section will be about pets. And we'll add a question to that section. And you'll notice that our other question that we've got here, which city do you live in, is jumped to the wrong place. So let's just move that question up. We can drag it here, and we move it to section 2. And now we're on section 3, which is pets, and we're going to add a question. The question will be, do you own a dog or cat? And the options will be very simply yes, no, right. So you can see we've got a basic survey set up. We've asked a couple of questions. Where do you live? Do you live in Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town, Harare, or other? And you'll see we have another section here which is saying if you live in another city, in another city, give us the name of that city. And then we've asked the last question, which is, do you own a cat or a dog? And the answer is yes or no. So we can add some logic into the survey. Let's do that now. So here we're saying, where do you live? Yes, we say continue to the next section, which would be city, which doesn't make sense for Johannesburg. We're going to change that to go to section 3, about pets. And the same with these ones here. Go to section 3, which is pets. And if they've answered other, then they would continue to the next section. And we'll have a look at how it would preview. So we can test our survey. And this is what it would look like to your respondent. Where do you live? So if I answer Johannesburg and click next, it'll take me straight to, do you own a pet, cat or dog, yes or no? And I'd answer yes, and I would click submit, or I could go back. So let's test the other bit of logic we put into this, which was other. If I said, where do you live? And I selected other, it would take me to this question, which is city other, and I would answer Croatia perhaps. Next. And then it would take me to the next section, and I would say yes or no, and I would click submit. And you see there is our response. Thank you. So as you can see, it's quite easy to set up a Google form and to create a survey with logic built into it. The next thing we'll have a look at is sending and finalizing up our survey. So let's have a look at the options we've got with a more advanced survey that's been set up. You can click on send, and then we can email the survey to somebody to complete, or to many recipients. We can click on link, and then we can email a URL for people to access the survey via link. We can even shorten that link to make it more useful for marketing material. Go ahead and copy that. And if you have a website, you can embed this whole survey onto your website page if you're able to embed content onto your site. Right, so let's have a look at some of the responses that have come through for this survey. And we click on responses, and we can click either on summary, which will give us a summarized view of the respondents. And we can also look at the individual surveys that have come through. So here I'm looking at 1 of 2. Let's have a look at number 2, 2 of 2. We could print those surveys as we wanted to. We can even go here to the summary. So let's see how respondents came through. So we can see just quickly at a glance that 50% of our respondents come from Cape Town, the other 50% come from Johannesburg. And there's additional statistical information that will be revealed through the data for you. Additionally, you'll see these links here, is you can set up some other useful features, like get an email notification when anybody submits a response. We can download the responses, and we can set up a form for the responses to come through into a spreadsheet. So here you can see that the 2 responses are feeding automatically into a spreadsheet, which you can download and save as an Excel file. There's a timestamp on each of the entries, and here's all the data from the different fields that you've asked for information. You could obviously connect this information through to Excel graphs or other mechanisms for analyzing the information. Very straightforward and easy to do. I hope this tutorial was interesting to you, and thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.